Good morning, students. So today we will be discussing on the merits and the demerits of partnership. Okay, so in the previous classes we discussed about what is partnership and the features of partnership. Okay, so today we will discuss about the merits of partnership. So what are the merits of partnership? So you know that a partnership is that particular form of business organization which is owned, run and managed by two or more people. So when two or more people join together by investing funds. Yes, so what they do is like they invest funds, they combine the property, the labor, the skill, yes, into some business, and what they do is they agree to share the profits that arises from the business organization, from the business organization. Okay, so that is what is known as partnership. So two or more people join together to carry out a business organization or to carry out a business in a proper manner. So that is called as your what partnership. Okay, so today we will discuss about the what merits of partnership. So what are the merits of partnership? So the first merit is ease of formation and closure. Ease of formation and closure. So like I already told you that the partnership form of business organization is totally governed by the Indian Partnership Act of 1932. It is governed by the Indian Partnership Act of 1932. Okay, so here when coming to the formation, so the partnership form of business organization, it can be formed very easily. It can be formed very easily by putting an agreement between the prospective partners. So the reason why the agreement is put between the partners is that sometimes there are chances that there may be conflicts that may arise in the business organization regarding the amount invested, maybe, or regarding the sharing of profits or losses, maybe. So at that particular situation, this agreement, it adds as a proof. Yes, so agreement is nothing but a mutual consent of both the partners while entering into the business. Okay, so here it's very easy for you to start up the business organization. So just by putting an agreement between the prospective partners, so what you can do is like they can start the business organization. So this like I told you, the agreement is nothing but acknowledgement saying that they agree to carry out the business of the firm and share the risk. Yes, so they agree to carry out the ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್. ಸೊ ಏನು ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಇದೆ ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ನಡೆಸ್ತೀವಿ, ಅಥವಾ ಜೊತೆ ಸೇರಿ ಇಬ್ಬರು ಸೇರಿ ಅಥವಾ ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಸೇರಿ ನಾವು ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ಸನ್ನು ರನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅನ್ನೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಅದು ಒಂದು ಪ್ರೂಫ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದ ಮ್ಯೂಚುವಲ್ ಕನ್ಸೆಂಟ್. ಸೊ ಇಬ್ಬರು ಸೇರಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಪ್ಪಿಗೆ ಕೊಡುವಂಥದ್ದು. ಸೊ ದೆರ್ ಈಸ್ ನೋ ಕಂಪಲ್ಷನ್ ವಿತ್ ರೆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಟು ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಅ ಫರ್ಮ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಕಮಿಂಗ್ ಟು your this one formation of business organization. So registration is not really compulsory, so you can run the business organization even without the registration. So closure is also very easy. So with the mutual consent of both the parties, that is both the partners of the business organization, what you can do is you can close the business organization. So ಒಬ್ಬ ಮಾತ್ರ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ಸನ್ನು ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ಸನ್ನು ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗೋಕ್ಕಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಇಬ್ಬರು ಒಪ್ಪಿದ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ. ಎಸ್, ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಇಬ್ಬರು ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಇಬ್ಬರು ಒಪ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ 5 ಜನ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ 5 ಜನ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ನರ್ಸ್ ಕೂಡ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ, ಕ್ಲೋಸರ್ ಅಥವಾ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ಸನ್ನು ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ, ಮುಚ್ಚಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ, ಒಪ್ಪಿಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬಹುದು, ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ಸನ್ನು ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ಕ್ಲೋಸರ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಫರ್ಮ್ 2 is a very easy task when coming to your partnership. So formation as well as closure is very easy. So you don't find any difficulty in starting the business organization as well as stopping the business organization. So the second one is balanced decision making. Balanced decision making. So when coming to your balanced decision making, so the partners they can oversee different functions according to their area of expertise. So if there are five people, so five people have their own viewpoints. Yes, they have their own viewpoints, they have their own ideas, their own creative skills, everything. Okay, so it's like it becomes easy to oversee different functions according to their areas of expertise. So according to their areas of expertise, what they can do is like they can think about it. So the reason is like the an individual is not forced to handle different activities. So this not only reduces the burden of work but also leads to fewer errors in the judgment. Okay, so an individual is not forced to handle different activities. So if it is in case of sole proprietorship, the individual, that is a sole proprietor, should handle different activities in the organization. So what happens is like he gets burdened with the work which he has. Yes, so when he has ample of work, ತುಂಬ ಕೆಲಸ ಇರುವಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅದು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಬರ್ಡನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನು, ಎಲ್ಲ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಟಿವಿಟೀಸನ್ನು ಒಬ್ಬರೇ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇಯರ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ನರ್ಸ್ ದೇ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಓವರ್ಸಿ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಅಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಟು ದೇರ್ ಏರಿಯಾ ಆಫ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪರ್ಟೈಸ್. ಸೊ 5 ಜನ 5 ರೀತಿಯ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪರ್ಟೈಸ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳುವಾಗ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ದೇ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಓವರ್ಸಿ ದ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಅ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ ಮ್ಯಾನರ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಒನ್ ಮೋರ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಇಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ when the work is handled according to their experience, what happens, like the burden that arises in the business organization, or the burden on the employees of the organization, the partners of the organization, it totally reduces. So when there is no burden, it reduces the errors that may happen in the business organization. Okay, the errors can be totally reduced. Errors can be totally reduced. So one more thing is like when there is a balanced decision making. So how it is a balanced decision making means, if there are 5 members in the organization, so 5 members will join together, discuss on one particular aspect on which the decision has to be taken, then they come out or they excel with certain decisions. Yes, so they will have certain decisions which is already planned in their mind. So they will discuss about that particular decision, their advantages and disadvantages, and then get into a conclusion. So what happens is like the judgment when they join together gets done in a proper manner, or the judgment can be done very easily in a effective manner. Okay, so what happens is like the decisions are likely to be more balanced. Why? Because you are taking up the the viewpoints of all the partners available in the business organization. So when you are sitting together and speaking about a particular thing or a particular decision, then what happens, it becomes easy to take up the decision. So there are more chances that the decisions which are taken by the employees of the partners of the organization are relatively very balanced when it is compared with the sole proprietor, because of a reason that they discuss the things and then take up a decision. So there is a balanced decision making. So the third one is more funds. So when you compare your partnership form of business organization with the sole proprietorship, what happens is like the funds available with the partnership form of business organization is relatively more. So in a partnership, the capital is contributed by number of partners. So I told you that more than 2 people will make a partnership form or can make a partnership form of business organization. Okay, so like I told you in the previous class, the maximum is 50. So 50 members, up till 50 members can join or together and start a partnership form of business organization. So when, for example, if you are taking 50 members, so all the 50 members invest into the business organization. This all the 50 members invest into the partnership form of business organization. So what happens is like the fund available with the business, that is partnership firm, is relatively more because of the reason that the capital is contributed by the number of partners. Yes, so each one, so if there are 50 members, all the 50 members are investing. For example, if there are 10 members, if 10 members invest into a partnership form of business organization, it's like the amount that gets total, when it gets total, the amount which gets raised because of this is relatively very high. Yes, when 10 members are investing, if one is investing, then what happens is like the amount available will be totally limited. So when 10 members are investing, so what happens is like the amount or the fund available with the partnership firm will be totally different. So it will be relatively a very big amount. So it makes it possible to raise large amount of fund as compared to sole proprietor and undertake additional operations when needed. So like I told you, when it is compared with the sole proprietorship, what happens, it's really easy to raise a good amount of fund. A huge amount of fund can be raised with the help of the partnership form of business organization. So when it is compared with sole proprietorship, the amount of money that can be raised is relatively high or relatively more. So the next one is sharing of risk. So when coming to sharing of risk, so it is totally different from that of your sole proprietorship. So the risk involved in running the partnership form of business organization are shared by all the partners available in the organization. So here it's like the risks are shared between all the members, that is partners of the organization. So it may be totally different, like the amount of share, like how they are sharing the profits or losses, it totally different. It will be totally different. Okay, so it's like see, sometimes they may share the profits or losses equally, or sometimes there are chances that they will share the profits or losses on the basis of the amount which has been invested by them. So if the profit is taken or if the profit is shared equally, then obviously the losses also will be shared equally. So what happens is like on the basis of what amount of profit or what share of profit you're taking, on the same basis you will have to bear the loss as well. So all the partners in the organization will share the what risk of the business organization. So what happens is like it totally reduces the risk, or totally reduces the burden as well as the stress on the individual partner. Like I told you before, see, if it is in sole proprietorship, all the losses or all the risk will be borne by one single person. Okay, but here it's like as you have many people, like two or more people, what happens, the risk gets shared between the partners of the organization. So burden as well as the stress on individual partner can totally be reduced. So the next one is secrecy. So when coming to secrecy, what happens is like the partnership firm is not legally required to publish its accounts and submit its report. So as it is not registered, and one more thing is like as there is no rules and regulation that it has to submit the what financial statement of accounts to the general public. Yes, what happens is like there is no what rules and regulations, and the partnership firm, it is really not required, or it is really not required to publish the accounts and submits its report. Okay, so as you don't want to submit the report, or as there is no rule that you have to submit the report as well as the statement of accounts, what happens is like the secret of the profit or loss or the amount available in the business organization, everything will be totally secret. So it's like it's not shared. So So suppose if there is any rule that you have to provide your statement of account, or you have to publish your statement of account as well as a report, then what happens is like the outsiders will get to know about the business organization. But here it's like, as you are not providing any information relating to the what reports or accounts, what happens is like it totally remains as a secret. So it is able to maintain the confidentiality of information relating to the operation of the business organization. So information can be totally kept confidential. So the information does not get leaked out at any cost. The information does not get leaked out. So information will be totally what secret, because of a reason that nothing is going out of the business organization. So next we'll discuss about the limitations of partnership or partnership form of business organization. So what are the limitations of partnership form of business organization? So the first one is unlimited liability. Unlimited liability. So what is unlimited liability? Say I already told you that if the asset available in the business organization is not sufficient to pay off the debt, if the business asset is not sufficient to pay off the debt, then the business concerns, that is the partners of the business organization, will have to get their personal asset into the business organization in order to repay the debts. In order to repay the debt. So at that particular situation, the problem is that the personal asset of the partners of the business organization, the personal asset of the partners of the business organization will be totally under danger, so he will have to get his personal asset into the business organization, which is totally a problematic one. So when coming to your unlimited liability, like I told you, the partners are liable to repay the debts even from their personal resources in case the business assets are not sufficient to meet its debt. So the liability of partner is both joint and several, which may prove to be a drawback for those partners who have greater personal wealth. So sometimes there are chances that because of this liability, there are chances that you will have to sell all your personal assets in order to repay the debts that arise from the business organization. So that becomes a very big drawback. So because of the organization, there will be situation that where you are required to sell everything for this purpose. Okay, so here they will have to repay the entire debt in case the other partners are unable to do so. For example, say if there are two partners, and one partner is unable to pay the debt, partner is unable to pay the debt. So when one partner is unable to pay the debt, so what the other partner has to do is like, he has to see that the liability of that person who is insolvent, the liability of the debt of that person. So ಯಾರು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ದುಡ್ಡನ್ನ ಕಟ್ಟಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಯ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಯಾವ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ನರ್ಗೆ ದುಡ್ಡು ಕಟ್ಟಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಯ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ನರ್ದು ದುಡ್ಡನ್ನು ಸೇರಿಸಿ ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಕಟ್ಟಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಹೇಗೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ, ಏನು ಸಾಲವನ್ನು ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀರಿ ಅಟ್ ಎನಿ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆ ಸಾಲವನ್ನು ರೀಪೇ ಮಾಡಲೇಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ನೋ ಅದರ್ ಗೋ, ಯಾವುದೇ ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇರೆ ಗೋ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ, ಅದು ತೆಗಿಲೇಬೇಕು, ಅದನ್ನು ಪೇ ಮಾಡಲೇಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಕಂಪಲ್ಸರಿ ದಟ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಪೇ ದಿ ಲಯಬಿಲಿಟಿ. ಸೊ ಲಯಬಿಲಿಟಿನ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಪೇ ಮಾಡಲೇಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ, ವಿಚ್ ಈಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವೇನು ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಒಬ್ಬ ಪೇ ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ಕೂಡ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬ ಆನ್ ಬಿಹಾಫ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿಸ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ವಿಲ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಪೇ ದಿ ಲಯಬಿಲಿಟಿ, ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ಟೋಟಲಿ ಅ ವೆರಿ big drawback when it comes to the partnership form of business organization. So the second one is limited resource. second one is limited resource. So when coming to limited resource, so it says that there is a restriction on the number of partners. So I told you that the maximum number of partner who can join the business organization will be 50. The maximum number of people who can join a partnership form of business organization is 50. So there is a restriction on the number of partners. So what happens is like the condition in terms of capital investment is usually not sufficient to support large scale business organization. So when you want to start a very big organization, when you want to start a very big organization, what happens is like the amount which is required, the contribution which is required by each partner in terms of capital investment will be not sufficient, or will not be sufficient to support for large scale business operation. So it's like the amount required to start a large scale business organization will not be what available. Okay, so here it's like the availability of fund is the fund available with the partnership form of business organization will be relatively small. So it becomes a very big drawback where the organization faces limited resources. So as a result, the partnership firm, what it does is it faces problems in expansion beyond a certain size. So you will face limited resources. The fund which will be raised will be totally limited. So what happens is like you will have to face problems in expansion beyond a certain size. So only to certain extent you will be able to what raise your what business organization. Yes, you will be able to what expand your business organization only to certain extent. So after which it will be difficult for you to raise the fund. So you find it very difficult for raising the funds after a certain extent or after a certain size. So which is very big drawback for the business organization. So you can't raise a huge amount, or you can't expand your business to a great extent here in your partnership form of business organization. So the next one is possibilities of conflicts. Possibility of conflict. So when coming to possibilities of conflicts, what happens is like, so this partnership form, like it is run by the group of people. Yes, it is run by group of people. It is not run individually. So there is a difference between your partnership as well as your sole proprietorship. So sole proprietorship, like I told you, it's run by a single person. So here it's like it's run by a group of people. So what happens is like when it is run by group of people, the decisions which are made in your partnership form of business organization will be totally shared. Yes, so the decision making authority is shared between all the members, that is partners of the organization. Okay, so that is very important. Okay, so what happens is like here the difference in opinion may take place. So sometimes what to do is like when there is a discussion between the partners of the organization, and there is a discussion between the partners of the organization, what happens is like there are chances that there may be conflicts that arises, or there may be what differences in the opinion that may arise in the business organization. So there are chances that there will be differences in opinion. So opinions may differ from one another. Yes, so ನಾನೇನು ಡಿಸಿಷನ್ ತಗೋತೀನಿ ಅಥವಾ ನನ್ನ ಒಪಿನಿಯನ್ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬರ ಒಪಿನಿಯನ್ ಇರಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅದು ಟೋಟಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಡಿಫರ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಟೋಟಲಿ ಡಿಫರ್ಸ್. Yes, it totally differs. So that's very difficult. Okay, so opinion differs on the same issue that may lead to disputes between the partners of the organization. Will lead to disputes between the partners of the organization. So what you can do is like you can try to reduce the disputes. So there has to be a good what good opinion, or there has to be a same opinion between the employees or the partners of the organization. It's like a combined opinion is very important. Okay, so here it's like as what decision is taken by the partners together, there are chances that it may lead to what difference in opinion, which which totally leads to disputes between the partners. So the decision which is taken by one partner are binding on the others. So what happens is like the unwise decision taken by one person, yes, unwise decision by someone may result in the financial ruin for all others. So while taking decision, it has to be very clear. So what you have to do is like you have to see to what extent the decision goes, or whether that particular decision is right or wrong. So that is very important. So knowing whether the decision is right or wrong is very important. So what you have to do, you have to see that the decision which is taken by one person is not what ruining the business organization, or it is not affecting the business organization in any manner. So it's very important that you identify or you take up a proper decision. Okay, so like I told you, you have to take up a proper decision. So because of combined decision making, there are chances that, like I told you, it may lead to what conflicts in the organization. So in case a partner desire to leave the firm, so this can result in termination of partnership, as there is a restriction on transfer of ownership. So if you are planning, or any of your partner is planning to leave the organization, if any of your partners is planning to leave the organization, then what happens is like totally spoils your business organization. It totally spoils your business organization. So what you can do is like you can totally see that the unwise decisions in the organization are not taken, so that the business will not come across any losses. Okay. So the next one is a lack of continuity. So when coming to a lack of continuity, it's like the partnership, it comes to an end with the death or retirement or insolvency or lunacy of any partner. So the business organization, it does not continue for a long period of time. Okay, so the death or insolvency or imprisonment or your retirement, so all this, yes, all this it leads to what the closure of the business organization. So the lunacy is nothing but insanity. Yes. Okay, so it's like it is like it can be said that it is like yeah, insanity, I mean insanity ಅಥವಾ madness ದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. Okay, so it may result in lack of continuity. So if any of the partner dies, if any of the partners, so if there are 5 members and if any one or more partner dies, then obviously what happens, the business gets wound up. So it's like there is no lack of continuity, the business does not continue for a long time. So however, what can be done is like the remaining partners in the organization, they can enter into a fresh contract, or they can enter into a fresh agreement, and they can continue the business organization without any problem. So they cannot run the business, or they cannot continue the business with the old what agreement. Yes, so when one partner dies, so obviously what you have to do is like you have to bring up a new agreement while what starting a new business. So it's like you can't continue the business with the old agreement when one what employee or one partner of the business organization has died. So the last one is a lack of public confidence. So when coming to lack of public confidence, it's like the partnership firm, it is not legally required to publish the financial position or financial reports, or make other related information public. So there is no rule that it has to make its what informations, that is, it may be financial information or any other information. So there is no rule that it has to make the things public. So what happens is like It is therefore difficult for any member of the public to ascertain the true financial status of the partnership firm. So, as no information is provided, to the general public, what happens is like it's like the information is not known to the general public. So, it's like the true financial position or the true position of the what business organization is not known to the general public. So at that particular situation, what happens is like it becomes difficult, or as a result of this, that is uh, uh, the not showing or not providing the information about the business organization. So as the result of this, what happens is like the confidence of the public on the partnership form of business organization will be relatively low. So that is very important here. Okay, so when you don't provide the information, then what happens is like the general public will not have that much of confidence on the partnership form of business organization. So this is all about your merits as well as the limitations of partnership form of business organization.